Hello, everyone. My name is John Postorino. I'm the COO of Flycast Partners. And on the phone today, we're going to have Daniel Heckman, who's our senior federal sales rep. And we're also going to have Kyle Hamilton, who's going to show some of the functionality of the Helix platform. So today we're going to talk about modernizing service management utilizing BMC Helix. And it's going to be a very high level discussion, very informal discussion between Danny and I, and then eventually Kyle. But the point we want to get across is the power of this platform. So Flycast Partners, we've been an elite partner for BMC for over 10 years. We've been around for about a little over 10 years. We specialize in this vertical. So we specialize in ITSM solutions. We've executed over 5,500 different engagements. And all of our consultants are ITIL either version 3 or ITIL 4 certified, which is very important when you're looking at these types of tools and these types of solutions for your organization. We also have BMC Helix certified engineers, consultants, which is another relatively difficult certification to get. And luckily we have some engineers, some consultants who have gone through this process and become certified, to include Kyle, who we'll talk shortly. And then we're a veteran-owned small business. Now we have BMC software. And BMC, obviously they have a lot of different tools in their portfolio, but one thing, the one big point I want to make is 84% of Fortune 500 organizations use BMC products. That says a lot about the organization and the solutions that they provide to industry. And another thing is something that Danny will talk on here shortly, is BMC has been recognized as an ITSM leader by Gartner for 7 years. And there's very few tools that are in the upper right quadrant of the Gartner Magic Quadrant for ITSM solutions, and BMC Helix is one of them. So again, it says a lot about the organization, it says a lot about the platform, and a lot about the topic that we're going to discuss today. So one of the things we want to talk about, and there's a lot of words here on the screen, but we want to talk about the platform. We want to talk about what Helix is and how much of an impact it can have on an organization, and it can be more than just IT. We call it business centric, but there's other use cases out there where you can align, from your operations side, your human resource side. You can utilize this platform and go from a traditional cost center, which ITSM and IT in general a lot of times is a cost center within your organization, to a value center. And we'll talk more about that today. But again, it's not just an IT solution, it's an organization or an enterprise solution. And these are some of the stats that we pulled out of actual case studies from people who have organizations that have implemented Helix. You can see 25% reduction in tickets. The cost saving, $2.7 in savings on an annual basis. That's incredible. That's a big ticket item. That's a big impact on the organization. The next one is 10% reduction in live service desk requests. Well, you know why? Because they introduced some of the functionality and some of the chatbot functionality that's contained within the tool. And then you talk about automation. You talk about automatically people submitting tickets and tickets being routed to the right people at the right time for the right reasons. And it's all done through automation. So you exclude or you remove a lot of those human touch points. So you're going to have consistent, standardized results throughout your entire process. And one of the last things I want to talk about is in one organization, they went and they did a study, or they queried and interviewed all the different departments within the organization. This is a Fortune 100 organization, doing probably, their retail organization doing probably between $3 and $4 billion a year. And when they went out with the surveys, they found that IT had the lowest score, and you can see here 2.4 out of a scale of 1 to 10. 2.4. They were the most disliked department within the organization. Within 12 months, by utilizing BMC Helix, the platform, automation, chatbot, empowering the end users, so it became more of a pull mindset instead of a IT push mindset. And they got their score up to 7.5 and became the highest, the most liked department within the organization in a period of 12 months. And again, it says a lot about the tool and the power of the tool and what you can go back to what I said earlier, from a cost center to a value add center. So in saying that, Danny, I got a couple questions for you. And again, very informal. But But I want to talk a little bit about modernization, and we want to talk about what Helix does for the organization. And there's three things we always want to focus on: federal cloud security, which we'll talk about a little bit today, and some of the mandates that have come down from the current administration. We want to talk about modernizing IT and some of the things we just discussed: chatbot reduction tools, removal of manual touch points, those type of things, customer satisfaction. And then we want to talk about how it aligns to IT service management. How does it align to that big picture within the organization, and how does the organization want to implement the tool? Can you talk a little bit about that? We know that BMC has obviously been in that Magic Quadrant for 7 years. They've been a leader in this space, and now with BMC Helix, a more powerful platform than they had in the past, based on some of their legacy tools. Can you talk a little bit about cloud security, modernizing, and how it aligns to IT service management, please?
Absolutely, and also how Flycast Partners fits into the picture. I think starting off with, as you mentioned, BMC being a market leader, and furthermore, BMC is one of 3 solutions in an IL4 environment or higher. So beyond the FedRAMP designation of the Helix platform, as you mentioned, BMC has been in the top right for close to a decade. That says a lot, not only on its private sector success, but its success within the federal government, again, being one of only 3 solutions available in that FedRAMP environment. So that pedigree speaks for itself without wrapping a bunch of marketing buzzwords around it. So having a strong foundation from a technology standpoint, due to our partnership with BMC, it's allowed Flycast Partners to assist various federal agencies to consolidate and refine their service management practice from a process standpoint, which I feel is often overlooked. We all know saying fool with the tool is still fool, meaning the best technology in the world will not save anything if the process or culture of the department is fractured. By refining the process or culture of service management within an agency, it allows these teams to begin focusing on modernizing and consolidating the technology stack to respond better to incidents or better meet the digital expectations American citizen has when interacting with these departments, and ultimately empowering these agencies to meet their mission objectives. So in short, that touches a little bit on the security as well as the digital expectations of the end user or the consumer in today's world. And in short, that's why I feel we found the most success, not only as Flycast Partners as an organization, but also working with BMC and the Helix ITSM platform.
Thank you, Danny. So something you said earlier, something you said in your explanation, you started talking about, the impact on citizens, the impact on the organization, the security aspects of the tool. And I know that there's been a signed executive order on improving the nation's cybersecurity back in May 21 or May of 2021. And so how can ITSM, or how can BMC Helix ITSM tool play in the service desk to ensure that the agency is compliant with this mandate? And then really anything else that you can add on the importance of this mandate and the impact it has on the organization and then the country as a whole.
Absolutely. That's a large question, but I'll do my best to unpack it. So focusing on service management for the last 5 years, I'm obviously pretty passionate that security starts at the service desk. It might be worth adding that the Center for Internet Security would also agree, at least your top 10 critical controls. But what I also noticed talking with customers is the service desk team is often overlooked when it comes to security. My philosophy has always been, how can an agency begin to get a handle on securing their digital environment if they don't have a stronghold on the basics such as incident management, problem management, collision detections, and vulnerabilities created due to change requests, or maybe the lack of a change request? I know part of Biden's cybersecurity executive order is better interagency information exchange to more swiftly identify and respond to cyber attacks. With a firm handle on incident management or problem management, along with the right amount of artificial intelligence that the Helix platform does provide, teams can quickly identify anomalies based on the consistencies or inconsistencies from something as simple as mass incidents being reported, which could then be flagged as a problem and reported over to DISA or CISA with accurate data on these findings. The service desk team are basically, well, they're the boots on the ground when it comes to a cyber attack, and arming them with the proper tools is imperative to agile and accurate reporting, in turn allowing strategic decision-making on the response to said attack.
So can you give us a little bit more information on how can an organization expand their ITSM process and solutions to better serve their client base, the American citizen, really in the impact, and it kind of ties into the, the mandate signed by the current administration. But what could be the impact? What is the impact, and how can an organization utilize ITSM to better serve their clientele?
It starts with not only providing a pleasurable experience, but a seamless experience. And I think there's two sides to that equation. I know we talked about briefly earlier the digital expectations on both the customer requesting said service and the IT champion fulfilling this. In that scenario, it's just that. So let's think of something like grandma going to the SSA website to inquire about her benefits. It's very doubtful that she's going to create an account right away and understand the directions provided to her on the little knowledge article that's listed. Grandma's most likely going to call that number, which links over to a help desk, which on the other side of that phone number is once again that IT hero there to assist. Does that IT personnel have basically the solution set or the tool set needed to swiftly address grandma's questions? Or is a model more on taking notes and sending grandma to somebody else in the department who has knowledge to assist? The Helix platform will provide the IT hero the information they need to be successful and providing grandma the information she needs to sign up for her benefits without her having to yell into the phone, operator, option number 2, whatever the case may be. This would be accomplished through easily accessible and constantly curated knowledge base, empowering the IT user to get the information he or she needs in order to be successful and assisting grandma in that process. Now, grandma's happy. She doesn't have to call somebody else or wait on an information packet. And the IT user is happy that their CSAT score hasn't dropped from an angry citizen who's had an unpleasurable experience with another government service. I also understand Jeff Bezos is more along the lines of Lex Luthor in federal circles today. But what I always think is, why can't government services have the same seamless feeling as ordering something from Amazon? And the really short answer, without diving into technical components, because we'll take a look at that during the demonstration, is these federal agencies can have that level of service and seamless feeling when a customer interacts with the government agency. And it's achievable without breaking the budget, utilizing solutions like BMC's Helix, Omnichannel, Digital Workplace.
Thank you. And so if I'm a customer or potential customer, I'm an attendee on this webinar, I want to inquire into, what are my opportunities right now with BMC Helix? Can you go into a little bit, say, from a licensing perspective or conversion perspective on what I would be potentially entitled to if I was a customer or considering being a customer of BMC?
Absolutely. And actually, over the last few months, it's been surprising how many federal agencies didn't realize the entitlements from a migration standpoint that are available to them, whether they're on a legacy instance of BMC's Remedy or legacy instance of BMC's Footprints. So what BMC has done with their understanding the challenge IT is facing in the public sector, they put together a license migration program. So think of it as a like-to-like trade-in with comes little to no cost, if any cost at all. So by taking care of the procurement of the licensing, that allows agencies to focus on culture and process standpoint of service management that we discussed earlier, and also evaluating their processes to adopt more complex items such as supporting the teleworker, which I know is not going away anytime soon, or if it ever goes away at all, and also adopting things such as dependency application mapping to arm your, whether that be your security team, your change control team. And again, by taking away some of your most rudimentary of processes from a budgetary standpoint of procuring a new solution, and also focusing on the process aspect, BMC's kind of thought of both of those. And with each agency being unique in its own way, and when I say unique, not only from a technology standpoint, but from a people standpoint, as well as a mission statement standpoint, that's a great topic to engage BMC and Flycast, and we'd be happy to discuss those on a one-by-one basis.
Thank you. And that sounds like there's a lot of opportunity out there for anybody considering moving to this platform. And so I'm an operations guy. I'm not an IT guy. I always have to look at cost. I always have to focus on cost. I have to focus on impact, ease of use for the organization, return on investment, all the different things that are associated with running a business. So if I was looking for a tool, an operations guy, I was looking for something. why would I select BMC Helix over potentially another platform?
I think it's best we move to the actual demo and show an organization why they would choose Helix. I understand a lot of people enjoy PowerPoint presentations and listening to me talk. But again, I think this is a great point to introduce Kyle Hamilton. He's a seasoned Flycast engineer and actually a former BMCer himself. Kyle has a wealth of information in the space. And without further ado, Kyle, please feel free to begin our demonstration and walking the attendees through BMC's Helix ITSM.
All right, thank you, Danny. Welcome, everybody. Again, my name's Kyle Hamilton. I'm a sales engineer with Flycast Partners. I'm here today to provide you with a brief overview of some of the features and capabilities that are available through the BMC Helix solution that we've been talking about. And to that end, and I believe Danny mentioned this a couple of times, one of the features of any service management tool, but Helix is as well, is the fact that you need to have a self-service portal that provides the same type of digital user interface that customers are used to getting when they access Amazon or they order a pizza, reserve a rental car, what have you. Everybody's used to getting almost immediate feedback, right? They want to be able to interact quickly. They want to have a nice user experience. And so if you're looking to roll out something like a self-service or a customer service portal, Helix provides one that not only gives you that unique kind of application experience and the web interface that users are accustomed to so that they're not locked into some ancient form, but also gives you the ability to consolidate. This is one way to drive automation or efficiency into the organization, is to get rid of multiple tools that are being used and drive everything into one tool or one portal. And so that's one concept of the digital workplace in Helix, is a portal of portals. So even if you have other applications that you utilize today, external tools, let's say you have something like Jira bug tracking is pretty common. Software developers use it for writing code and managing code and tracking defects, and it's often interfaced with the service desk. Within Helix, the digital workplace provides opportunity for customers to be able to integrate to something like Jira, so that Helix really provides the front-end interface for the tool. We don't want to necessarily request or submit anything into Helix. I don't need to create a field here in Helix or a new ticket in Helix, but I do want to create a ticket in Jira. Most applications, they're going to synchronize. They're going to create a ticket in their service desk, and then they're going to pass that information on to that external app. One of the nice features with BMC Helix is it simply provides the front end for the existing applications you already have, like Jira. If you want to submit a Jira ticket, you can easily do so through BMC Helix, even though the ticket's being submitted into Jira, or creating an invoice in Oracle Financials. Being able to provide a one-stop shop for all of your users, all of your customers, whether they have a need from IT, whether they're looking to, you see up here at the top of the banner, create their Office 365 account, whether they're looking for help from HR because they have a benefits question, whether they are part of IT and are looking to respond to a user request. Everybody has one portal where they can find everything they need. And all of this can be easily accessible through a simple search. So if I'm a user, I need to onboard an employee, for example, I might have a need to see what the process is. There may be some knowledge-based articles that give me a detailed breakdown of these are the steps involved in the onboarding process. If I want to initiate the onboarding process, I can have a catalog of those different requests, like onboarding, so that users can come through and make requests and allow you to collect all the important information that's required: start date, what type of employee, where are they going to be located, who's their manager in the cost center, all those important details, so that you can automate the collection of information so that users can use this portal to submit requests, whether they need to onboard a user, have their office moved, stand up a new virtual machine in the data center for a project they're getting ready to start up. All of those things can be driven and automated through Helix Digital Workplace so that the users have one place to go rather than having to remember 4 or 5 different sites, depending upon whether they need to interact with IT or HR or legal or facilities, etc. Now, the other big advantage or big feature, I'll say, of BMC Helix is the ability to leverage machine learning and artificial intelligence as well. Another way to drive efficiencies into the service desk and service management process, as well as give you the ability to offload a lot of effort from the service desk so that your front line, second line aren't dealing with as many simple issues and can focus on the more, the larger problems the organization may face. So you may initiate or utilize features like the chat bot, where you can eliminate the need for a service desk agent entirely. This leverages IBM's Watson computer and true machine learning so that over time, the bot gets more intelligent. It learns from previous responses, how to respond the next time, and eventually starts to eliminate those tier 1 and those tier 2 and potentially even higher calls so that less and less gets escalated. The customers are getting their calls and their issues resolved much, much faster through the bot. And they have that same kind of back and forth textual interface or interaction that they're used to when they're in Facebook or Twitter or on their phone communicating with their friends using text. So this gives them another channel for support besides using, the basic, portal and form-based interface. So you've got opportunities not only to automate the collection of information, automate, the interaction with the user. You can automate business processes as well, so that if users are using this portal for things like onboarding requests, etc., that you can automate things like approval processes. That next person in the management chain, that next person in the chain of command, they get automatically notified that they need to approve that request so that it can move to the next stage in the process. The users can stay updated. You don't have to, deal with those manual approvals and manually searching people out, but can automate those things and give the users a simple ability through the digital workplace to track the status and get the updates on those requests that they've submitted, as well as push those updates out to them, whether they're on their mobile device or their tablet, sitting on the couch at home. So you can automate the delivery of information, making sure that they're notified when their request has been fulfilled, notified when their issue has been resolved, without having to open up email or get inundated with Outlook messages all day long. So you can deliver these things via SMS, you can deliver these, via multiple formats, Twitter, social media platforms, so that the information gets delivered in an efficient manner. There's also opportunities to leverage things like digital workplace for automating things like office management, space management. If I'm getting ready to travel to the Dallas office, for example, and in that office, I need to find a conference room that I can book for the next couple of days while we hold a couple of meetings. So I can search up, through this floor map of the office and see that a conference room is available, pull up a detailed map that'll show me some information about the conference room and what kind of capabilities it offers, whether it has, video projector, etc. And you'll notice it also gives me an opportunity to interact with the service desk. So if there's a problem in the room, the light bulb is out, the projector's not working, it's too cold, it's too hot, I have easy ability to submit a ticket related to those resources that I'm trying to utilize. Or if I simply want to come in and say I'm going to reserve this, I'm going to go ahead and check into this room, or maybe say that it's not available, then I can go in and make those indications as I use a resource, so that other users can see that that resource is in use when they go to look at that location. Or maybe I'm attempting to use or need a printer. I need to print out something for a presentation in that conference room that I'm getting ready to walk into. Being able to find local resources to know where that printer is it working? What's the current status? And again, be able to interact with it so that if it is broken, if it's simply out of paper, you can go ahead and submit a request to have the paper replaced, or the toner refilled, whatever the case may be. So through this interface, not only being able to interact with the service desk, but also being able to leverage other resources outside of the service desk. Give users, again, a single portal where they can interact and get support from facilities, from HR, from IT, or any other department that you can think of. Now, when you talk about your internal users, they're just as important. We'll take a look at Alan, who's not going to be a user that's using the digital workplace, but somebody that's using Helix to respond to tickets and respond to incidents that are being submitted. And one way that Helix provides support for these users is one in the delivery of information to them. So you can see over on the left-hand side, users can get in-app notifications related to updates, service level targets and agreements that may be approaching a breach point, as well as delivery and incident information when they log in, as well as providing a unique experience for them to be able to create tickets quickly and efficiently within Helix, so that you're not locked into the classical form-based interface, but gives users, again, more of a typical conversational interface, so that I can identify my user. In this case, Joe calls in. I simply mention his name, and you see immediately what I get is some information about Joe. Where is he located? What assets does he have assigned? What software does he have assigned to him? What tickets does he have opened, or has he had opened in the past? So I immediately get some information about Joe, so I understand up front who I'm talking about, without having to do anything other than simply beginning to type that name in at the top. Then as Joe relates his information to me, maybe his email is not working. Again, I just continue typing. I type his name, email is not working. So now I've got Joe's information on the left. Over on the right, now I've got some resources that are being suggested out of BMC Helix. There's some catalog requests. Maybe I need, request more email storage or another mailbox. Or in this case, I could see that there's a template for email issues. Maybe that's exactly what I need. So I can come into Helix, type in a couple of simple pieces of information, and be presented with not only information about the customer or the caller, but a host of information, from knowledge-based articles that I might be able to utilize to templates that I can use to quickly get that incident created for Joe and get it in the hands of the right team or the right individual who can respond, without requiring anything more input from that staff other than Joe's name and a description of the incident or the issue that Joe's experiencing. So here's the ticket's been pulled up from the template and automatically populated with information from that incident template I selected. If everything looks good, I can go ahead and click save to go ahead and create that incident for Joe. And again, he can now follow and track the status by going to the digital workplace, and he'll be able to see as it goes through those different stages, whether it needs to be approved, whether it's work in progress, etc. So it gives not only the end users the ability to interact in a way, in a manner in which they prefer, but also provides a nice conversational and simple method for the service desk staff to be able to create tickets with a formless interface, so that you're not presented with 50 fields of information that you're being required to enter before you can hit save. You have no information in front of you other than what you type. And as you type the information, Helix is going to start providing you with information back that you can either select or utilize to then move forward and either create that ticket or look up the information that you need. So it can help automate and provide a nice experience for both the end user as well as the internal staff. Now, when you talk about additional capabilities, one of those would be automating the ability for you to get information out of the tool. Not reports, not analytics, and not data, but true information, true data mining. And again, this is where BMC Helix and its machine learning capabilities and its AI capabilities can come into play, where instead of simply being presented with service desk statistics or incident statistics, you can actually get some true feedback, some true information, what we'll call here in Helix Insights. And you'll see an example of this right here at the top of this overview that's going to pop up, where you'll see not how many tickets have been opened and closed, but what you should possibly look at, what the system recommends you doing. You know, look into this particular team because their mean time to repair has been increasing over the last several weeks or several months. Or we recommend that you take the following action with this group because the backlog of issues is increasing. Those are the type of insights and the type of diamonds, the data mining nuggets that customers are really looking for when they're looking to get analytics out of their tool. Simply getting tickets opened and tickets closed is great, but you still got to draw the lines. You got to draw the connections. So Helix provides you with some advanced analytics and some machine learning capabilities that you're not going to see in other platforms, so that you can automate that data mining process rather than having to draw those distinctions yourself. Having a system that can help you understand and help instruct you as to what you need to do to make that process better, whether it's your incident management process, whether you're dealing with change management and change requests. These types of reports and these types of insights can be valuable to give you not just the metrics of what's been done or what you've done in the past, but here's how you can make things better in the future. And here are some of the things that you can look to, to help improve the process. So Helix is a platform that provides the end-to-end experience for your end users as well as your staff. And then from an administrative, managerial, executive perspective, also provides a platform that can, integrate into external applications, provide you the ability to consolidate everything into a single platform, so that you're not using multiple tools and paying multiple support, supporting multiple contracts and multiple support costs. Have everything in one, and be able to do everything from HR to facilities to IT to finance, and be able to have that automation in the platform, whether it's automating approvals to managers and directors and reports, or it's to the executives and delivering on the data and the information they need to make the executive decisions that they're being asked to. So Helix provides all of that capability within a single platform, so that you can do that consolidation. So I hope that everybody's seen enough of what Helix and Digital Workplace has to offer, so that if you're interested, this is certainly something that we have expertise in, and would ask you to reach out, set up a conversation where we can dive deeper. If you're focused on the rolling out the chatbot, if you're interested in the digital workplace features, where we can set up time and dig in more into your requirements and show you a little bit more about what Helix is capable of. But with that, I'll conclude with the demonstration portion, and John, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Kyle, for all that information. And I also want to say thank you to Danny for providing some insight into some of the requirements that are being mandated at the federal level for modernization of platforms and for the impact on the civilian community. So once again, I'd like to say thank you to everybody. I'd like to say thank you for taking the time out of your day and attending our event. And if you need anything, or if you have any additional questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at flycastpartners.com, and we'll do everything possible to answer your questions in a timely manner. So again, thank you, truly appreciate it, and have a great day.